and I'll upload this afterwards, and then YouTube will not take it down because there's no sound. So, all right, we're rolling. All right, this look good for everybody though. Like we can all see and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. First question: was this post soldier change? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I'm not. The soldier change made him like a reasonable hero.
Viable.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think he's still like. I don't think he's the best hero ever or anything, but he's more playable than before.
I think he's solid for a moderately brawly, like kind of range, like a weird mix.
Yeah,
of
it's very much like a mid-range
fights.
hero.
Yeah.
But anytime
When you don't know what else to do or who else to be,
yeah,
be soldier.
your soldier should generally be the one that's like the soldier should be playing it kind of like a tracer almost, where you're taking an off angle basically the entire game. Like I talked about this before, even pre buff or pre rework or whatever.
We
where-
talked about it in the cup. Cup.
Yeah. Like he has the movement ability and he has like the poke range that you want, right? And if they try to push him, he can just press shift and then run away. Like it's always risky to have somebody taking an off angle, but that's why you want the better heroes who can take it more safely than others to be taking it. There's not really any purpose to be grouped up on top of each other all the time unless you're playing like a very deathball-y sort of composition.
Well, real quick, how do you feel about our composition?
Comp is fine.
Yeah. You won't like the rest of them
Okay.
because some bitching commenced. But,
Gotcha. These have been pretty clean fights so far as a whole. I think we can even get more aggressive just off the bat. Ooh, that's definitely an overcommitment of ults right there.
Yeah, I actually commented that I shouldn't use beat there.
Right. Like blue team
we
committed
do it
several
fine.
ults that they really shouldn't have, considering they were down like 3 already by the time they started using them. But that means like we don't have to trade like one ult for one ult like we do sometimes, where we're like, oh, you know, they use this ult, so we're gonna use this ult to counter it, and then that means we're not down an ult or anything. When we're already up 3 people, we can be a little bit more conservative with what we're holding there. But I mean, it's fine still because you guys still have good ult usage going. Good ult economy going into this next one.
There's a few bad Lucio ults. I'm a little rusty.
Zoning Bob.
Zoning.
Well, that's fine. I don't have an issue with the Bob here. And then generally good ult usage. If we get grabbed, it's really important to call out to our, like especially if we're playing Reinhardt, it's really important to call out to our Reinhardt that we're in a grav, because that means he needs to stop swinging and start, like not necessarily even shielding the grav. Like that's if he's close to the grav, he should be jumping into the grav and shielding it. But at least just playing defensive, and like if he stands up in the front, like I'm gonna go back here. If he stands up in this area that he is right here, right, and just holds his shield, that is the equivalent of him being in the grav, right? Because he's still cutting off this entire area. The only thing that can shoot into the grav would be Zarya. And you guys can shoot at Zarya, who's directly in front of you. Like the guys in the grav can shoot at the Zarya, right? But either way, it's just really important for our Rhine to be like not swinging at this very moment, or at least like if you see somebody who's 1 HP, there's a couple guys who are 1 HP, right? I don't think you can necessarily reach them, but if you can reach them, you get the one swing in, and then you put your shield up. Like Grav is absolutely a follow-up ultimate, right? Like you're not going to get anything done just by eating Grav. It's not going to win the game unless you follow up into it. And that's especially important considering we used beat during the end of the last fight. Yeah. So we don't have any other counter other than don't let them shoot into the Grav.
Yeah. Okay, so here's where it starts getting called boring.
Was
That is
map
how
1?
long it took.
Yeesh.
After map 1.
That was a clean
This is
round.
the first conversation about it.
Right? Yeah, clean round.
Yes.
But
Yes.
not perfect.
Clean round.
Not perfect.
Not perfect.
The only thing was I think the ult usage. The rest of it was fine. And then, like, you know, always being aggressive, especially when we have Lucio and they don't have Lucio, right? Being aggressive when we get advantages. That can even just be a health bar advantage. We don't necessarily need to get a kill, but if we're like, oh, we did a lot of damage to the Rhine, we can now push the Rhine. That's kind of what happened during the absolute first fight, is like the Rhine was 1 HP and the Hades just like ran at him. That's the right play. Okay. I think blue team here kind of fucks up really hard because this is what I'm talking about with the health bar advantage. If I just go back a little bit, our Ryan is like that and their Ryan is like that, and this is fine for a moment, but then he gets healed up pretty quickly and our Ryan doesn't, and now they have a health bar advantage. Like if because our Ryan keeps repeaking this corner, right, they should be able to look at it and say, oh wow, this guy doesn't really have that much health. We have health. We can push him, right? Blue team kind of fucks up by playing too slow here, and us as red team, it's a little scary trying to hold up this far anymore because we don't really control the space anymore. We don't have the resources to actually control the space anymore. Yeah, like it takes a trillion damage there. He should be dead here. Yep.
And then he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, later maps, I started calling for him to leave his shield up.
Right. And that was we already talked about that a little bit, right? I think more importantly right here, like as a team thing, is just that we do maybe need to abandon taking this fight up in this high ground area of the map where it's quote unquote even when both teams like rush out of the spawn and then meet here. When we lose like a health bar advantage like that, we may need to actually give up this area because like, frankly it's not that important, right? Like so we can back we don't need to back up to spawn or anything, but we can just like rotate down this way, for example. Just try to re-engage somewhere else, even if it's a little bit worse of an angle or worse of a position, but with health bars, right?
I think with how they pushed us, we did not feel comfortable dropping to the point.
Yeah, that would suck.
It
would really suck dropping to the point, for sure. We'd
be going
but
through
like in this case, even I think we can just kind of back up for a couple seconds because honestly, it should only take like maybe 2 seconds to 3 seconds for our health bars to stabilize. Right, this isn't disengage; it's just stabilized position, and then you can fight again because you haven't lost anybody at that point yet. The fight was in the other team's favor, but it's not anywhere near over. Right, it's just like slightly in their favor, and they should push it because they can capitalize really hard if you guys are still like full brawling on top of each other. But if you just back up a couple steps, they're like, okay, we can take a chill pill for a moment, let our Ana shoot our tanks for a little bit, make sure they're like at least 3/4 or something, and then re-engage again like 2 seconds later. Like these are all just like small back forth like footsie type plays.
Right.
Where blue team should just be inting forward.
They also don't notice that I'm standing completely by myself on the left.
And that's fine, actually. You just need to get ready to leave if they push at you. But you standing there's not an issue at all.
Okay.
You guys could always coach up to that window.
Yeah. Okay. This here is interesting.
So
I think
comes back
so,
and we start going back in.
Yeah, we have 6 players here, and they have 6, right? Yeah. It's somebody up here, I think, or I'm not sure where he went.
Tracer.
Oh no, he went over here.
Left,
Yeah, so all 6 are down here now. Our DPS actually have a really good position up here, and with this position, I think our tanks can be a little bit more aggressive. Like tanks and Lucio can be a little bit more aggressive walking into there. Not necessarily. Again, this doesn't mean like swing and like try to murder them all by yourself, right? But like these guys up here are pretty much uncontested at this point. You know, like this guy can shoot back, and that's the extent of damage you guys are going to take. So this should be really, really good for us because of how quickly we've grouped here. Yeah, this ends up fine. We walk in, watch health bars. Really important to watch health bars there. This fight would be won if we didn't trade Ryans. And this is, we don't have to be like, this isn't where we have to just sprint in and like, again, do damage and whatnot. We just have to create presence here and let our DPS do something from height. Their DPS are at a positional disadvantage compared to us, so over the course of the fight, we will win the fight, as long as we don't trade.
The power of destruction.
I think we're playing this a little bit too deathball-y with what we have. Like we have the 2 like mid-range hit scan things, and still kind of just like walking up here together, and then like these 2 guys are hanging out here afterwards, which is fine.
I should be getting a different sightline though, right?
I think it's more so.
Should always
yeah, probably.
crossfire.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm saying more so like off the bat, when we first walk into the fight, we're all kind of just walking in together. And then it's taking like 5 seconds, 10 seconds for us to kind of split off into the, oh, our hit scan should be up here and everybody else should be like doing something else, etc. It's kind of taking a moment to do that, and we're not really taking advantage of anything while that bit's happening. Yeah, good. Nanovisor. Didn't have to use anything else, that's good.
Ult economy.
There.
Огонь по готовности. Do something.
I don't watch me tragically waste a beat, because that's coming.
Interesting. Okay. I'm
Team kill.
not entirely sure what what happened there in this fight. To be honest, was this a called
Grav
alt
pushed in.
combo that we
Yeah.
did? Was we were like we're gonna
I
combo
knew we were gonna
Grav and
grab.
Bob?
I don't
What
know
else
that-
we're gonna combo? We sure
I don't
shit
know
are
that-
gonna combo Grav Shatter. We know better. Our coach taught us to do that.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know if we called.
I'm not
that we were
entirely
gonna
confident we need to
specifically
combo
them.
anything, is what I'm saying.
I think
Just swing
we-
into it.
Yeah, and if we
I
need to
think the
toss a
call
Bob
was
afterwards,
if we needed Bob. Yeah.
right? Like Bob into a Grav honestly doesn't really do very much.
Is it kind of like a soldier ult into a grab?
Yeah, like almost.
No, because you don't need an aimbot when they're literally standing still.
You are
Like-
deploying an aimbot, sir.
Yeah, and
I am making them turn and face the other direction from us
Oh my
so that we
goodness.
can fire into their assholes, so we can eat their ass, as the wise man once said.
my goodness. Did you watch the VOD? Oh boy.
Sure did. Sure did.
Okay. Yeah, I guess this is fine. I guess it's fine.
Because I literally put Bob into the Grav.
You did?
Like I didn't send it through the Grav. He
This
went
is what I mean
into
about.
it
I don't
and hung out
know
with
if we
them.
need it though. Like, so this is like the
Yeah.
best possible place for us to put a graph in the first place, right?
Mhm.
Like, this map has these like tiny little corridors that you push through. So like that one, or the one like down here, and they're all horrifying to try to walk. If they choose to all walk together here, which again I don't think is a good idea. I think their soldiers should be like doing a full flank on the other side, right? And that would help draw a ton of pressure. If we get such a fat grav right here, and we're this close enough to it with like speed boost if necessary as well, I'm not entirely confident we need it at all. So like the reason why a lot of times we want to like combo like Grav Dragon or whatnot is because we'll only catch like 2-3 guys in it probably, and we want to make sure we kill those guys if they're like far away from us. This is where like I think you can use Bob if it's not certain that we won the fight, but I think if we get a Grav like this fat, like oh my gosh,
Огонь по готовности.
that's what 5 guys in it.
The only one not in it is Lucio at 2 HP over there on the left. Like,
Yeah, I think we can actually just swing into this and it's probably fine.
So I have a question about that.
Yeah, what's up?
About the correct cycling of ults here, or the optimal cycling of ults. Wouldn't it have been? And I didn't think of this at the time, so I'm not trying to pretend like I was smarter. Wouldn't the optimal way to do it be for Ryan to shatter, and if needed, follow
Yes,
up with the grab
actually.
and let him swing into it to build another
Yes,
shatter?
yes. I have definitely mentioned that before, so I'm glad you remember that actually.
Okay.
In theory, yes. Now,
Okay.
the reason why that was such like considered like diehard theory in the past is that was during an era like that was during GOATs specifically, was people
Okay.
realized this was like the correct theory. It was much easier to land a shatter in GOATs versus now.
Okay.
The issue now is that we can't always guarantee that we can get a shatter at all, and whiffing a shatter puts us at a disadvantage for a little bit. Like, I mean, it's like half a second, but still, it's a disadvantage, and we throw away an ult for basically nothing. So I don't think that's as big of a deal anymore.
Okay.
In a situation like this, what's up?
I was gonna say I also like to think of it as like the grab is generally just a longer ult to build up, so it's important to use it and then build it again because getting multiple grabs in the game is kind of important. Same with like when you use two alts, you want to have both the alts building up. So you want to use like the two alt combos first, and then do like solo alts that would win a fight. That's my idea behind
Yeah,
it.
that's kind of true as well. Again, this theory came from a time of goats, and this was also when, and still is now, Ryan builds Shatter faster than Zarya builds Grav, right? So like you do Shatter first because you probably have Shatter before you have Grav even. Like that's another part of it. In this instance, I don't think it matters that much. And again, this is such a great spot to get a Grav, and obviously this is a really good Grav, right? Versus if they just run through, we do not guarantee getting anything with the Shatter, and we might get killed for it. So I don't think it's a big deal here. I don't think it's a big deal here, really. Does that answer the question anyway?
in general,
if we have like a perfect opportunity to either throw a Grav or a Shatter, then the Shatter is the better play. Like let's say we killed
you're
their
gonna
Ryan.
build so much.
Yeah,
let's
say
swinging
their
into
Ryan
a
is
Grav.
dead, right?
Yeah.
Then we Shatter because now they have nothing to be able to block it unless Zarya does something really cool with their bubbles, right? If that is the case, and we know there's no way they can block a Shatter, and using either Shatter or Grav will win the fight straight up, then the right play there is to use the Shatter, pretty much regardless. And then you Grav with their Ryan alive during the next fight, and then you win that fight too. That gets you another Shatter. Like that. And in theory, this is how this goes. But in this situation, when they're running through with basically full health, like I really like the Grav there. That's a good Grav.
Okay.
Killed them with boop.
Team kill.
Sure did.
Good work.
Sure did. Booped him right back to spawn.
Yep. Fierce boop.
Okay, so here, as a note of if you're blue team and you need to figure out how to break out of here, right?
Don't go there.
No, it's fine to go here. This is the better place to go in theory, but you can't just ram your head into a wall into a team that is just waiting here, right? So, like I mentioned earlier, one of your options is just to send a flanker on the other side, like this. Like if you decide to go this way, you send a flanker to the other side, and vice versa, and they draw some aggro and do something. Like Ryan can't shield both ways, obviously, so you just like rain some bullets into like Ashe or whatever, and they have to do something about it. They can't just stand there and take it.
Where's the Tracer?
Plus,
She's underneath.
There are also some teams that will go
Right there.
under to try and a lot of teams will panic and just all drop to point and give up high ground.
This one I like less, but it is a play if the first one didn't work. The reason I like this one less is if I were red team and I notice the Tracer's on point by itself, I kind of just don't give a shit and I just push into blue team because now it's a 6v5. And yeah, they might back cap it, but like we won the team fight, got all
get
the
it right
advantage. I don't really care. Yeah, we gave up like 10%, so what?
Yeah, Ham. I can't remember now. We've done so much scrim in matches. I feel like we did that during this game, where they back cap it a couple times, but we just won the team fight.
Yeah, like when you win a team fight, you
yeah.
get such extreme ult advantage out of it that like that snowballs for the rest of the game, right? Like it's very common for King of the Hill to go like 100-0, or the game like gets to 99 and then the team flips and that team ends up winning like 100-0. And that's just the nature of having a better position, but also winning team fights in a row and getting way superior ult economy. But like doing this, what they're doing here, this is also a play. I just think it's a slightly worse play than just like sending a soldier to like run this way, for example. Now, there's other stuff you can do as well, just like as a team, is if we were like, oh, they're here, like we're blue team, right? And see them here, we can walk up to this point, pretend we're coming here, and then immediately just all speed boost to the left. And unless they have insane reaction time
on the other team, and they said, "Oh my god,
what? No, that works.
Yeah.
In like GM.
No,
What do you-
Oh
Yeah.
well,
that works
the
everywhere.
greatest diamonds to ever play the game told us that that's not going to work.
To
Not going to work.
Like, they have to
Ham,
react
I
so
think
fast.
that was a Masters player, okay? To be fair. But still. Yeah,
So,
I think it
classic
works.
Yeah, this is absolutely a
I think it
functional
works
play as well.
with a Lucio, as long as you can get down
Oh,
there
you need
quickly.
the Lucio. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a Lucio.
You need Lucio for it.
I know. I know.
Yeah, no, it's an
I'm just saying
absolutely
I agree
functional
with
play.
The Okie Doke is a good play.
Yeah, and even if they do realize like, oh, they're going the other way and they meet you, right? Like this is now a more chaotic fight, which is better for the team that is pushing. because now the defensive position is not as good as what was postured before, right? So it's slight advantage. You
Right.
can even like pretend to fake it and then come back, and now they don't
I
know what
said
to
that
do anymore,
too.
right? Yeah,
Oh
because
my
they can't see you right here. It's like, what
Alex,
is
your
it?
coaching has stuck with me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right,
Cam
players,
was
don't just
very adamant.
ram
for
your head into the
concussion.
wall repeatedly here. This is just like, this is not a good idea unless you have to like either pop off or like red team has to fuck up, or you have to like overcommit ults or something. Anyway, just thought I'd talk about that for a little bit. That's not really even
I
relevant
appreciate that.
to necessarily to this map.
That was very relevant to me.
Yeah, it's relevant to the game as a whole.
Огонь по готовности.
Alright, man, that Zarya just kind of yeeted herself out there, didn't she?
Yes. Okay. You ready? You ready? You ready for me to waste this beat? Oh,
What is going on?
I got stunned. Rhine shattered.
Oh,
Into the
lordy.
grab.
Okay, so they rammed their heads
Which
into
I
you
did not
guys,
expect.
and it worked. It probably shouldn't have worked.
They grab shattered us.
Огонь по готовности.
They did. I did not expect it. I was like, okay, cool. Let me just go ahead. I'm gonna beat this because Ryan's coming in here. Yeah, he's gonna get aggro. Let me throw down the beat,
Yeah.
and I got shattered.
Yeah, this
So.
is a little spooky here. Like a soldier goes to deal with the tracer. I really think it's better to just win a team fight than to try
Agreed.
to mess with something yourself. Or like if you guys all want to drop and deal with that as well, that's fine. Like I said, I don't think that's as good of a plan, but it's still a better plan than like doing this. Really, on a positioning, I think I would rather have you over here. That's much less scary.
Oh yeah, I didn't know she was over there.
Yeah,
Just hanging out.
a little bit of no, because these guys should all just look at you and go like, ah, it's an Ana, and just like shoot you in the head. I'm very scared right now. I think as soon as the grav comes out, you can throw beat and it's fine. Like you don't have to wait.
Огонь
We
по
it
готовности.
didn't
Yeah, I just
seem
throw
like
beat
we
here.
were really having an issue.
Sure, but like if they're
Because there, it looks like it's 1v4 or 1v5.
But, so like they're
and
running,
then the
it
rest of the team comes
fucks
out.
up his charge, or like maybe he does it on purpose to come here. But if he hits a squishy out of you guys, and like you die, right? So
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
most of that grab was less about like getting picks and more of just making space for them to
yeah,
push through
this
that
is a very
movement.
weird graph from their Zarya, and also like her movement out of the choke, just like bouncing out of there. Very strange.
Yeah, literally bouncing. Holy
Very
shit.
strange.
Like,
This
I
isn't a
gotta-
good idea, just to clarify.
I gotta eat this into the back line. Let me
'cause,
bounce on
yeah,
out
if
of
our
here.
soldier were not doing whatever he's doing right now, and he's standing here, this Zarya is dead.
Our
So like this
soldier had
isn't a
taken his
good.
Adderall.
Yeah, this is just isn't a good play. TLDR, where are you, Ham? I just
I'm in the
realized, where
grab.
fuck are you? Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm just hanging out in the grave.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Right there.
yeah, you are.
Right
Okay,
there.
never mind. I'm super blind. Anyway, like this is not a brilliant plan by the Zarya, so don't do that. If you're a Zarya player, she should be dead, but they could get decent follow up on it. Like I said, I would just be here,
You know,
like
I
immediately.
don't think. Well, I did, and then,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I was
this
like,
is
okay,
even-
we're fine. Oh, wait, no.
Even
Beat.
like entirely
Aw.
regardless of anything that just happened here, like notice how many ults they had to just pop there to commit out on you
Mhm.
guys because they're ramming their heads
All
into the
of
wall
them.
again here. Yeah, they
All
used
of them.
a lot of ults, and we used a couple ults that we really shouldn't have used there. But like if it were a
Yeah.
little bit better executed on our end, like I think honestly if we just beat early, I
I
think that's
didn't notice
probably
that
safe.
we used a shatter. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
Right, yeah,
I-
and that's one of the
think
ones I'm
that
saying
was-
probably shouldn't have used.
Just the time that
Wait.
Sarah shattered with like 10 HP.
We used
Probably.
a shatter?
We used
Yeah.
shatter.
Yeah, there was at least
It
one
was a
shatter.
very late shatter. You
Oh,
tried to save it, it didn't work. So
Yeah.
it kind of be like that sometimes. This is a good push up. Nano speed boost. Yep, good points. And it's a one fight as well, so nothing else needs to be used here. All right, clean. The only time we should be, or any team, sorry, not just us, like if you're holding up front, the time we should be worried about holding that close is if the other team has nano, because then they can do that. But like we can keep doing this because they don't have Ana. Also playing if we okay. Ooh.
Огонь по готовности.
Do we just not scout that out? Just-
What, going right?
yeah.
I think we,
My dynamite is kind of like the signal of me scouting it out.
Chilling, we're chilling. Jeez,
Little
where are
late.
they? I wonder where they are. Okay. Yeah, that's alright. Not that big of a deal.
Огонь по готовности.
Oh, health bar. Oh, okay.
Oh, is
Nice.
that how you drop the beat in a graph?
Fucking got him.
That is
Oh
uncalled
my
for.
god, I'm so.
You know what I
Soros,
think
my
is a
guy,
great
put up
idea,
your
Alex?
shield. I'm so scared.
Can
for
we
you.
Just kidding.
Can we just move Ham to a Moira role? Is that an okay thing? Did you see that?
Back to the classics.
Yeah.
Back to the classics.
Yeah, I think we need to go back to basics. You know.
I don't think that's what we need.
I felt really bad for
anyway.
Chaos. Look at this. Did you see what happened?
This, yeah, it's
She
All
moved
just
up.
needed themselves on point, and they just happened to be in booping territory.
yeah, this was another good grab. I'm so nervous for Ryan's health constantly, but this isn't really something we need to worry about anymore.
Because by the way, they don't have to worry about it anymore.
And then Great Sleep to save it. That's a YOLO shatter. The shatter's never gonna work. But this fight should be won very cleanly without losing anybody after doing that much damage. After this fight ends, like, I think during this phase right here of like,
Oh dear.
we won the fight largely, and there's like a Tracer over there kind of by herself. Like, it may just be best to like full posture up because they're gonna have to do an awkward re-engage. So like, I would place Ashe like up here, for example, just Coach Gun up here and chill. Like Ana honestly should just be walking all the way back here and hanging out over here. I don't even know if Zarya should be playing this far up, and this is because we lost our Ryan, which never should have happened. But like, that's whatever. If we all had people, then we can keep holding up here because it's going to be an awkward engage for them. But like after losing Ryan, honestly, I'd probably back up a little bit.
Aww.
I just-
Yeah, I would
Grandma.
definitely not position
You
in
just
the
hate
middle
to
of the
see it.
point for basically
You just
anybody
hate to see it.
on the team. There's no reason for any of us to be just in the middle of the point. That was a good rollout on the ball, though. So. Yeah, I think Ana should just be standing over here somewhere. And,
Be quicker about that. Honestly,
sorry?
I think we need to be quicker about making up our mind where we're gonna
Yeah,
put
yeah,
ourselves
yeah.
after that fight.
Right.
mean,
And
there was
just kind of
deliberation
we
about
should
it.
all have kind of like little autopilot. Where should I be standing for this character sort of thing mapped out?
Score
Bob Carey.
And
0-2.
and then that there's also a good beat. We have to be more
Right
liberal
at
with
the end.
beats when we don't have our other healer with us.
Beat early, beat often.
Pretty much. 'Cause that's your damage mitigation, so you guys don't all die, right? Like you can't use Lucio heals. That's not real.
Whoa, I have more heals than the Ana right now. You watch
And?
yourself. You said it's not real. Okay.
What is Lucio does? What,
It's-
16 healing per second?
Listen,
5.
I've been there at 8,000.
Between
Okay.
fights, you're doing a real good job at standing there and
Thank you.
farming
I
beat.
appreciate that. I have been making sure to use my amps cautiously.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, that was one piece of advice I got ages ago. Now that I'm
Yeah.
back on this
I mean,
character,
Lucio like isn't sustained healing, right? It's just trash healing.
just a
Gar-
burst
garbage
and
healing is
trickle.
what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. Like anybody who watches football, you know the concept of like garbage time. It
Yep.
exists. It is there for the stats, but like it doesn't actually provide anything, right?
Right.
Like you do it
Is now
because it doesn't hurt to do it and it gets you beat faster, but like the 16 heals per second doesn't help you win a team fight really.
How much is it with amp though?
48.
Is that 16? Okay.
I think it's about 48. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's something like that. It's
I got
Swing of these big
harassed
things.
by a ball.
tragic. Yeah, let's rewatch this fight. Oh, okay. Go back actually further.
Those pixels though. Whenever you like skip like that, it
Yeah.
just doesn't know what to do.
Let's
It
see.
reverts to 2008.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That made
we,
me
we
feel
have
really
kind of
old
the
to
same
say that.
issue as before about like soldiers are stacked onto us here.
Just like playing high
This
ground.
isn't. Yeah, like this
Raining
soldier
down.
here. This is just playing Hanzo. Honestly, Hanzo will just do a better job as a character than what we have going on here. What just happened here with how our Rhine died. This is basically the exact same thing I was talking about on the last point when we took a big health disadvantage off the bat. We can't hold this position anymore. This position is no longer ours. So we have to do something and just kind of walk backwards probably. If we want to walk backwards and try to like walk up this height even, that's fine. Because that gives us cover for a couple seconds while we figure out our lives. But
The only one who's really gonna get
absolutely
there is Tracer.
Yeah,
Paintball.
yeah. Like, and we're backing up the entire time, right? So it's cool. There's no way in hell we're gonna just stand here and be able to do the whole. What's the word I used earlier? I forgot.
Yeah,
Fuck, I forgot the word.
unsure on this.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing where you like
We can't
take a
contest the
breather
point
for a couple
where-
seconds.
right?
I forgot what
God.
the term
Like a
that I
soft
used
regroup
was.
kind of
Yeah,
thing, or
something
Soft
like
reset.
that. Stabilize. That's it.
stabilize. Yeah, there's the word.
English is hard. Yeah, there's no way we're gonna be able to stabilize like right here anymore. Pretty much everybody on their team should be hard pushing into us.
Well, that's why we should stabilize by pushing forward. Oh,
Interesting idea. But yeah, walking out here, this is good. Don't get stuck on the wall.
I get stuck on a wall. Don't just you know.
Excuse me.
It was as I said to the team during the game that the rust is falling off in chunks.
Okay.
Just
okay.
it's gonna. I'll get there.
Sure.
All the misbeats and getting stuck on that wall.
Time's up. Gotcha.
By the third or fourth map, it was better.
Then I got harassed by the ball again.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm not a giant fan of how we took this fight, actually. If our plan is to position an Ashe up here, and then the rest of the team fights down here on the point, that means the Ashe can't really shoot anything anymore. Or she's going to be left alone, and then the ball will like, eat her alive or whatever. We want to do our best to fight up here, which is where they're postured anyway, in order for our Ashe to actually contribute to this fight. If we all like rotate down here, then this is the equivalent of us just playing like our Reaper Maid sort of thing. And then like fighting on point altogether. Yeah, like there's our Ashe is like trying to shoot at these guys who are over here, but there's no pressure on them at all, right?
Yeah.
So like Ashe is just shooting
She's
like
not gonna
at a
break the
bubble
bubble.
or like a little bit
Yeah.
at a monkey or potentially, but like not really even, and then ball just goes and harasses you. So like, yeah, this is kind of just being conscious about where on the map we are and like what our characters do and how they work with the map. Like generally you see on this point, you see like a Widow holding these heights, right?
Mhm.
And it's basically the same thing, but like once blue team realizes, oh, they have a Widow up here, blue team wants to rotate to point so that she can't shoot at them anymore, right? But that means she at least gets control on this entire half of the map. Where blue team here isn't understanding that there's an Ashe up there, or like they don't care or something, I don't know. But we're still
Well,
kind of just giving it to them as a result.
To frame it, this team is roughly 500 SR lower than our average.
Ooh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. With subs, they said they were around 2,000.
Gotcha. I mean, you guys are winning team fights pretty convincingly. It's not really an issue, but yeah, this is just what I'm saying. Like, if they don't respect the play or whatever, then like don't give up the advantage or whatever, right? Like we have the advantage of Ashe's up here, and then they're still fighting in what is her sight line, or like they're positioned up here. They rotated around, right? We can absolutely just take the fight here where we have the advantage.
Rotate
instead
to
of just
high.
giving it up for free, like or like assuming that they're gonna rotate down here because there's an Ashe or whatever, right? Like let them do the play correctly, and then do the next for us to do the next step of the play before just assuming that they're gonna do it, because they just didn't here. And now Ham is basically just dead. I don't know if you live, but like you should probably be dead.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, good job living. This ends up working out pretty well.
Yeah.
And then like that's a horrible minefield usage. Not that big of a deal. If you're a nanoed Reinhardt, you can actually just face tank them without using your shield even, because it's not going to do that much damage, especially in a one fight like that. Just face tank it so you can give extra ult charge. Like it's oftentimes a good idea to clear them with your shield, but like we don't need to there. And like a Hammond minefielding that late in a team fight is a gift for us.
Yeah, stupid Hammonds with their late minefield.
Like, look, if we had just left the minefield there for a moment and then like let Orion face tank a couple of the mines, right, we would be at probably 60% to our next nano already. And that's what I mean by it's a gift. It is absolutely just free ult charge for our supports. Alright, not entirely sure what the monkey's plan was there, but good punish on him.
Carry.
This should honestly be one of those maps where it's a little bit harder for us to be able to play Rein. If they just like rotate really well around. Like their ball is doing a decent job right now. Well, not he's having a bad time, but like he's doing his job decently well.
Right until he got grabbed and antied, yeah.
And slept.
And slept, yeah, he took a lot of CC there. Like the rest of the team isn't really following up on what he's doing is a big part of the issue, and then they're kind of engaging onto you guys like they're playing Rein. This is the reason why I say sometimes it's hard for us to... If the other team executes correctly, it may be difficult for us to force Rein in a lot of instances because they can kind of just ignore him, right? But like, yeah. Like this Winston seems a little lost right now, so hate to see it.
That's because the ball's not calling the dive targets.
Oh. Yay! Oh.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, how do you feel about Ham's positioning up there? I thought it was pretty good, but
Shit, let me rewatch
then
it.
he starts getting beamed down by the Moira ult.
Yeah, it's good for him to be up there. I'm actually just... The entire time here I was watching our Ana, to be entirely honest. She was like 1 HP for like 15 seconds. Let's see, how did you die, Zero? I wasn't paying that close attention.
I just died early in the fight to Soldier.
Gotcha. I saw you got pushed by the ball pretty much off the bat.
Yeah.
But you, like,
And then
you
got
lived that.
Soldier ulted.
Yeah, you lived that. Okay, oh, I see. Well, I hate to see it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure
Yeah.
there's not too much reason for you to be hanging out up there because they can't do anything from. I guess.
He was trying to Lucio flex on him. You saw him up there already.
No. I was
Did you try to beat
I was scouting
and
it
then
out.
die?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh no.
The rust.
If
The rust.
Oh, I didn't
yeah,
know that.
so for any Lucio players,
There were many.
for
there were
anybody
many
who
beats
might
that got
want to
fucked
play
up.
Lucio, the only way this team wins this fight, and because this is going to be last fight if you guys win it, right? The only way this team wins this fight is if they use their ults really efficiently and kill you guys with it. So that means that beat is now our most valuable tool because we don't even need to like win the fight with our ults. We just need to not let their ults kill us, basically.
Yeah. I should have just expected that they were going to use more and earlier.
Right. I think you should always assume they're going to pop ults early when it's last fight. People tend to do that.
Yeah.
And I mean, that Soldier made the right play there. If he sees a Lucio kind of just stranded out in the open, then absolutely Visor.
Oh, I was on the stairs.
You were like on this wall.
What?
Wait,
You
like,
never would have touched the ground with
like
it.
you were 50 HP by the time you got down. You're like, yeah, look at this sphere, right?
I don't think you touched the ground.
Yeah, you're dead. All of this is in the
I
open.
touched the ground there on the high
Your
ground.
dead body did.
Okay.
Whoa.
If you had
Yeah, at
dropped
least
the
give
beat
me
midair,
credit.
you would have never hit
Yeah.
the ground with it.
Yes, at least give me credit for not trying to drop the beat midair. Like just that.
So to
You know, I
quickly
at least
touch
didn't
upon
do that.
the Visor ability. That Soldier using Visor there just to kill you there is a good usage of the Visor ability. Visor you shouldn't expect to really do anything. It's not like they buffed it or anything. And this
That's
kind of
right.
comes into how our Soldier is playing very frontline face tank with it. Like very straightforward Soldier play. Excuse me. Like if we were playing, let's say like a Genji or Tracer or something that's like also playing a flanker sort of role the entire time, it's okay for Soldier to be playing more conservatively. Like so we saw he visored in response here, but they can kind of just walk around a corner and ignore it basically. Like Visor doesn't do a trillion damage, right? It just does the 19 damage per hit that you normally would do, and you reload slightly faster, and you don't miss. Yeah. But you're not going to insta kill anyone. That's just not reality, right? So as soon as this comes down and we're all approaching from the same angle, they can just walk around these corners and chill, basically. Versus we have, again, off angle soldier play. He pops visor like over here or up here or some random shit. That allows the rest of our team to kind of push in too, because now there's a whole lot of damage being rained on them from every direction, and they can't just dodge it anymore. That's not an option. So like this is just visor usage as a whole. You don't want to use visor when you're positioned with your tank line, actually, as a whole. Because generally speaking, the other team can just either put up a shield or walk around a corner or something, and it's entirely negated. You should visor when you see people horribly out of position that you can solo ult, like the Lucio, or if you're like taking an off angle and you're trying to create pressure with it. It's more important to create pressure than to get kills with visor.
Or pharmacy.
Hey, that counts as the horribly out of position thing.
Okay, I definitely
straight
used it
in
on
the
a
air.
pocketed widow yesterday. I just aimed at the top of a building.
That's
and
fine.
just
If you can't
let
get
it
out
go.
of cover, then that's fine.
Yep.
Or even just to pressure her back. Like visor, I don't really care that much for as
Mercy
an
kind of
ability.
flew over
It's
my
not,
head. That
it's
was,
not
it was
good
no
still.
play on her part.
Get into position.
Excuse me.
Bob, do something.
Go, Bob, go.
Alright, cool. Opening with Bob. Like it.
Bob gets booped so we can see the Winston. Pro play.
Yep.
Alright, yeah, clean fight. Good. Don't really need to say anything about that one.
Thanks, Bob.
Bob
Yeah, good clean
did
fight.
great. Bob did great.
Love to see it.
Victory.
Questions,
That's how I
comments,
get
concerns?
value with Ash.
Yep, pretty much.
Dynamite until I get a Bob.
Oh, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, anything about this map that we need to talk about?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay,
Seemed pretty boring, right?
I mean...
Like we rolled them. We rolled them, right?
Oh, we didn't. Oh, you're being
man.
sarcastic.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, it was
If you
100 to
wanna see
0
it-
every time.
If you want to see us drop a map, that's what Elios is for.
Ilias? Alright. Is that the one we
no.
want to do?
No, it's not. Because that's just stupid.
Yeah, what are we feeling?
Kings Row.
Kings Row. Classic.
Classic. As Hades duly pointed out, beginning of this match, needed to work on the dive here
Now
and working on that
entering
together.
King's Row.
Oh, what, on attack?
Mm-hmm.
What was I saying? Gotcha.
Defend objective A.
And your flex DPS decided to go hit scan.
Well, to be fair,
Always works out
we
great.
had a filler.
Mhm.
I know you did comment after the first fight that you said you
Okay.
weren't getting a lot of value out of Widow.
Step 1, off the bat. If you are Genji, do not dash at the ball unless you can kill him. And you're probably not going to kill him also. Dash is really important. Not that big a deal. Okay, I'm
This will heal you.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the game plan is currently.
That's a great
Us,
question.
us too.
This will restore you.
Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be rough off the bat because they're playing Reaper. I think that maybe with what they have, it may be a good idea to just let them use a cooldown. Like, if we see, oh, they used a monkey bubble, we wait a couple seconds and then commit afterwards, something like that, because we're gonna have a kind of a disadvantage pushing onto them. And they're kind of just waiting for us to do something, right? I think they're playing
I
kind of
actually
a...
commented at that point, right before I popped this ult.
Mm.
We are the ones who have to go to them.
Yeah, they're letting us kind of dictate it battle because they're trying to catch the dive. Like, this is like catching a dive sort of play here
Mhm.
that they're running. Now, that said, if I were catching a dive, I wouldn't play Hammond.
Fair.
Like, the D.Va does the same thing the Reaper does. D.Va does the trillion damage, right? It's shotguns. And she doesn't even have to commit booster to do that. I don't know if they rolled out saying we're gonna catch a dive, but like with what they have, that's what they're gonna do. So yeah, we need a This is a harder one. We need to either just isolate somebody who's like horribly out of position, or like try to catch their ball when he rolls in, because again, he's actually trying to engage and nobody else on the team really is. Or wait for them to use a cooldown and then punish them, like if you see a Moira fade or something like that. But it's going to be kind of hard to just like full engage onto them straight to the
Is that
face.
me about to get pile drove?
Most likely.
Yeah.
Pile
Yeah, I
driven?
think so.
Almost
Yep.
certainly.
Get
Yep.
some of that PD.
Yep.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go.
There he goes.
Son of a bitch.
So
And I got away.
we got minefield
now.
already? Nice. And then
Yeah,
also in
yeah.
the kind of the same vein, like Genji's a
I mean, it's
hero.
been a minute and a half.
Genji's in the game.
You know,
he's not that
QC,
good of a hero.
QC was kind enough to sub for us, and he got
At
excited
the
when we
very
said
last
dive,
second.
Gotcha.
and went, and he's like, "Ooh, Genji." I'm like, "All right."
Okay. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah. I know your feelings about Genji right
I mean, he's
now.
not. I really like Genji, but he's not particularly good right now. I think maybe even we have the opportunity to just kind of let our Widow get a pick and then do something. Like we need to do something
Well-
about the Reaper.
Sure, but yeah, our
Face
widows
tanking
are
is
widow,
really
oof.
gonna be painful. Okay, very rude.
Okay,
Very rude.
and I didn't hear that.
Face tanking is.
He
gonna
said
be
it about
difficult
himself. Okay.
here.
Considering I'm dealing with a ball all by my fucking lonesome right now, it's real hard to get a pick.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I don't think this
You got.
should
You
have
got
worked, to
psyched
be
up,
honest.
right? You
Okay,
did damage.
let's brainstorm for a moment. Maybe a good idea would have just been like before anything even starts, like we put our Widow up like here or over here or whatever, or even like back here if she really wants to be and she's scared, and then we place our ball, like swing through and like just get over there and then like hang out for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So at
Turn
least we
around.
can re-engage from like multiple angles. There with what they have, they can't really poke. This isn't like a pokey sort of thing where like a lot of times when we play like a dive thing, it's like our monkey gets to the choke and then immediately takes that arrow to the face and is like, ow, what do I do? Right? Like this isn't the situation. We can absolutely posture in this one compared to those ones
Gotcha.
where we take a ton of damage even just maneuvering in. The
Basically,
only
just, like, having
caveat
a
here is you
long
just have to
reach.
make sure you don't get like hacked along the way or once you're there or whatever. But like with what they have, we need to be careful, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in theory, the amount of time it's gonna take Sombra to do the hack, you will probably have momentum to make it up to at least that first
Most
side round.
likely, yeah. There's
With that
if you can't
special
make it
rollout.
there, you can absolutely make it here. Even
Yeah,
like,
right.
You can go around the side. Point is, we just need to do something other than like run into them. Even though that ends up what's happening, we got ults faster than they did here, which is good. Their Sombra should be having EMP by now, because trading isn't in our favor in theory. But this ends up working out.
Yeah, I just said screw it.
Yeah.
It says push on trance and
If we're gonna
Make them
push
happen.
like this, I think we might not even need, like if our play is, oh, now we have Mines. Mines is really good ultimate, right? Mines counters Reaper functionally because he can't really take out Mines and he can't walk. So I mean, I don't know. That sounds pretty self-explanatory. But that lets our tanks not get blown up as soon as they get there. So if our plan is let's just minefield in, then honestly that's not a bad play in itself. The trance I don't think is an issue, like that's fine. But I would be nervous if we thought they might have EMP. In this case they didn't. I don't know if you guys all tracked that, but
Well-
they did, so it's fine.
I mean,
I recognize that I didn't get hacked a lot, so I just
Okay.
assumed because she wasn't really doing much at all
Gotcha,
when I was
gotcha.
doing the like random push things.
Gotcha.
I mean, the other thing is, I mean, if we just push in there with trance, really the plan is just to do damage. It's not like she can hack me out of that.
Yeah, no. More so, what I'm saying is, if we push in with trance and they're like, oh, they're pushing in with trance, and just kind of like hang
Nope
out
out.
for it, yeah,
Yeah.
and give up like a tick or two, and then re-engage with the EMP, we lose. Absolutely, there's
Yeah,
no way
that's
in
fair.
hell we win that fight once they re-engage with EMP.
Yeah.
So like the only reason I'm nervous about the push in with EMP, with trance thing is because they're playing Sombra, like period, full stop. We
it.
don't really have any other counter to EMP.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I did not think of it that way.
Right. That's all good. Like I think engaging with minefield and then seeing what happens after that is honestly a
Probably
gameplay
better.
in itself, because
Yeah.
we did get mines fast enough there.
But I think that was also my thought on Trance.
Hmm.
Was just burn it
Hmm.
and not hold on to it forever.
It,
But
it should be
kind of
like
an underlying thing.
if you're fighting a like a stronger team, this Sombra should be outpacing Trance. It's very
That's also
difficult
fair.
for this to not be the case. Man, how do I phrase this? Like, look at your damage and look at her damage, right? It's 1920 compared to 630. You only need like 1,000 damage. I think it's 1,200 to get EMP. I think could be wrong about that, but it's around that ballpark. And then Trance is one of the higher ones up there. So you're kind of just like massively outplaying her.
Be more cautious with a different team.
Right.
It's really the
You shouldn't
yeah,
expect to get before. So it's like alting
Yeah.
whatnot is much more important even.
I want to point out that I'm making my official Cloud Chasers debut on Sombra now.
Oh, welcome.
So see how that goes. I don't remember at all. Might have blacked it out.
There's plenty to block out from this.
This is an interesting fight.
Because
Uh,
we're all over the fucking place.
I mean,
Are they
kinda.
on the walls?
It's yeah. Mines get stuck to ceilings and walls.
Mm-hmm.
If you're near them, it's kind of unfortunate sometimes. So like in these close corridor ones, you want to not minefield from too high up in the air, and then do the power drive, because then they'll get stuck.
That being
Honestly,
said,
none of us
I
think
have
about that when
died
we're doing it.
to a wall mine as Pharaoh before, and it is humiliating.
That one might be entirely on you. No, part of the reason this is so interesting is because blue team doesn't make any effort to do something while their ball is doing something, right? Like they use minefield and then the ball power drives, and he should just be screaming. Honestly, if I were the ball, I'd just be screaming. And then blue team is like, cool, there's a Sombra behind us, let's look at her, and that's how they chose to take this fight.
Distraction.
I mean, yeah, that's not a good idea. If you're gonna engage with mines, you have to engage. Mines is a really good ultimate, but you can't just rely on that to win the fight by itself, right? Anyway, I mean, at this point, we trade 1 for 1. But we killed their Lucio. That's really big, right? Because now we have Nanoblade. Do we use Nanoblade?
This will heal you.
If not right here, I think
What are we doing?
next fight.
Why don't we just use it now?
I think we called 2. I just think there was a big positioning and line of sight problem.
Okay, we're mining again. Fast minefields.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
Get into position.
We really want Nanoblade to be a fight winner, right? As in, try not to have to use anything else. Genji's such a bad hero that you have to be able to use a Nanoblade and just win a fight by itself.
So I got half of an EMP by the time she got her first.
She's not. I mean, she's not doing a ton, but yeah, I really think we should just Nanoblade there. Like when their only counter to the blade, which is the beat, dies,
Let it rip.
and like we're in a decent position is the thing, right? It's not like we were like down a bunch. We traded evenly. I'm pretty sure. How did I end up over here?
It just does that. I
It
don't
does do that.
Nice.
just hit a person and then go third
True.
person. It's so much easier.
Hey, good choice.
Good call. Yeah, like there was like a 10-second period where like they didn't even back up or anything. Oh, whoops! What'd I do? I fucked up my recording. They didn't
Yeah.
back up or anything because they still thought it was even. In theory, it shouldn't be even. If we just Nanoblade here, I think we absolutely just win the fight. But whatever. Yeah, talked about that a lot now.
There's a lot of
And then again, it should be a fight winner. We don't want to have to use other ultimates, so that's why you want to use blade first, like the nano on the blade first, so that we can conserve the mines instead of the other way around, right? Like if we absolutely have to use mines, then we use it afterwards, or like, and this goes for anything else, right?
Yeah, I
but
think
hopefully
my,
we win.
my thought process was that, we were just kind of sitting there for a while, like waiting
Yes.
for something to happen, and I'm like, all right,
and
so
that-
I'll just push them back, and we can at least take the
And
corner.
that's kind of what I mean by like, I don't think we should just be sitting there. Is the thing. Like we
Right.
lost Zen,
Yeah.
like and this isn't like an attack on you, obviously, Zero, because you're doing a lot. But like,
Mhm,
like if we lose Zen in this situation, like what really changed,
Yeah.
right? Like we still have
Like it's
our
not going to affect Nano
we,
Blade.
yeah, we still have
like,
our tanks. We have the Nano Blade, so like we're good to go.
Well,
Really.
he was running the scrim, so we had to keep him around for that.
Okay, that's true.
Whoa.
Like so, I think our tanks can just kind of push forward, and then we just use Blade and we win. That's where our tanks can also be much more liberal with what we're doing. So like we used a bubble, like just kind of like a passive defensive bubble there. That I don't think needed to be used, and we kind of like stood around and postured for a little bit. I say postured in a very liberal way because we kind of just stood there.
This was
but
later.
the Nano
in the,
Blade draws a ton of the aggro, and you kind of want to draw a little bit of the aggro yourself as a tank player so that it doesn't go on the Blade. So like if our plan is, oh, let's just use Nano Blade now, you guys can kind of just int forward, to be entirely honest. Because you're ride or die by the Blade now. Hello.
Hey, can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
So Ham and Zyzix, who both old, like Flute and Defiance, how old are you?
30.
30? Okay, thank you. That's all.
Okay.
Great question.
Okay.
All right.
Alright, so just remind me to remove them from the server later.
Yeah.
Who's that?
From the other team. We had
Oh.
him sub. That was the feeding
Oh.
Lucio the other time.
Oh, fun. This is being recorded. Just so you know.
I don't care.
Okay. Just making sure.
I accidentally kind of talked crap about him to our other team coach captain
Man.
instead of talking back to Ham the other day. So
Man. Alrighty.
you know my opinion.
Alrighty then. So after
there's no
we win
surprises.
that fight, this should be fine. Like, I guess they can try to re-engage, but this would be super awkward. They have to re-engage with the EMP, otherwise it's lost. This is the one time I think it's okay for you to be a little bit more aggressively positioned for Zen, because you want to try to build trance to counter their EMP. At this point, there's no way in hell they don't have EMP, right? Like, this guy could have like AFK'd, and I'm pretty sure he could have got it
Right.
by now.
Unfortunately, you're about to see me get EMP'd with trance.
Did he wait? Hold on. He still only has 800 damage. Has he literally
Not
done nothing?
much? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he had 800 on the first point.
This is what I mean by we need to expect Sombra players to know. Like, other Sombra players probably know how to play the character, so don't take this as a representation of like alt tracking and whatnot. A good Sombra will have EMP almost every fight. You get it like every other fight, or like 1.5 fights or so. It really doesn't take very much damage to do it.
I've learned that on our other accounts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This will restore you.
It's not hard.
What just happened?
They EMP.
They EMP.
Well, they AP'd and nothing happened. That's what. Wait.
Well, yeah, because the rest of their team is
Because
Really
she
far
EMP.
back.
ready. Ready? Fat EMP.
Okay. The rest of the team is in Narnia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now I have built trance and
Yeah.
woo-wee. I can now trance their engage.
Gotcha.
I don't know that monkey diving forward while he's half and purple. Well, he had
What, our
primal.
monkey? You're talking
Yeah.
about? Alright, missed it.
Pass into the iris.
Go back again. Yeah. So he's half. It's purple. He dives in.
Pass into the iris.
But I dropped the beat too and had primal, so
Yeah, that's
Wait,
fine.
not
honest-
primal.
Like, monkey player has to do something.
That's their monkey.
That's their monkey.
wait, what?
This is
Their
our
That's
monkey.
their
God
monkey.
damn it!
This is
I'm
our
so
monkey.
used to fucking blue being me.
Like, our monkey kind of just frontline there. I don't. Yeah. No issue with that really.
JK.
And then like the
Just
trance
kidding.
there to counter their own beat, like that's fine too. That's good. But I mean that's just a
I'm
really
already
bad
halfway
engage.
through another trance.
Yeah,
Like,
that's just a horrible engage on their EMP.
Oh, well, there's our monkey.
Have we not won this fight yet? Okay, we haven't won this
He's
fight
back.
yet.
we have not
But
won
we
this
also
fight.
haven't lost it.
Okay, I do
And that's
call
how
out
you
Reaper.
build
to
an
be fair.
EMP.
I do call out Reaper, you know, because
Okay.
he's dropping on us with ult.
Interesting. Yeah. So blue team played this really bad, but that's all right. We don't need to worry about that too much. On our end, EMP Mines is just another one that's not an amazing combination because Mines does so much by itself and EMP does so much by itself. They don't really add on top of each other that much. I think especially in this situation, this is very similar to the one where we had on, I think it was the first point that we looked at on Busan. I can't remember the first or the second one, where we already had a solid man fight advantage. It was pretty evident we were probably going to win this fight. Yeah. And then we kept trading ults. EMP wins this straight up. There's no way in hell they're gonna win it unless we like turn our computers off or something at this point.
Yeah, Hades, just because you're building mines as fast as most cooldowns doesn't mean you have to use them as such.
If you could tone down
or
the ball play
if you want to just use mines there and keep EMP, just I think either or. That's just something to talk about during the game, I suppose. And if you both use it at the exact same time, then whatever. That it happens sometimes, not a big deal. But like this doesn't.
Once again, literally my first time playing that hero in a team.
Sure.
Comp or any game for series.
Yeah.
So
honestly, I think like with hindsight and like with the ability to pause and like look at it and think about all this, I would probably use mines there and nothing else if we had to use something. Reason being. And I've talked about this before about Sombra, and I know you weren't our Sombra player before when we talked about this, but Sombra, like a lot of other ultimates, right? You use it to open a fight, and then you spend the rest of the fight building a half of another EMP,
right?
Cleaning up the fight,
use it
right? Whereas if you close the fight with it, that means you're basically guaranteed to have nothing at the end of it. In this case, you have a little bit, but that's basically why.
I was there for that discussion. You're right.
Yeah. Ball like gets all charged the entire time, no matter what's happening. It doesn't matter if he has mines currently active or not. He's getting alt charge. And this goes even back to I think I've mentioned like sometimes it's better to not murder everybody with Nano Blade, so you get another half blade out of it when you're cleaning up kills, right? Stuff like that. So like on paper, I guess mines is the right thing to use here, and then you can engage the next fight with EMP and basically win that guaranteed as well. Especially if they take a really slow engage and like let us fight like all the way around here, for example, which is kind of what looks like it's about to happen. If we just EMP Nano Blade here, we win the map, and it's over.
Gotcha.
Man, sometimes it sucks playing ball.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm assuming you didn't trance because you wanted to hold it for EMP, right?
We'll call it that.
Yeah, that's fine, honestly. It's not like we fed after that, so it's not really an issue. Hello.
Yeah, I think it was just I didn't think we needed it to win the fight.
Is that,
I think that was all.
Is that another EMP? Yeah, okay, Blue Sombra basically isn't playing the game. Let's try to do whatever the opposite of Blue Sombra does generally, and that's...
EMP.
She doesn't even go after the Zen afterwards.
I died to a skill orb, though, okay? She did nothing, she ignored me, she walked away, but a skill orb got me.
Yeesh, okay.
But she did it. She sure did it.
That's rough.
She did that 150 damage.
Yeah, I don't...
To be fair.
That's not a good engage, again. Let's see.
Look, I'm gonna hope
think even there, I probably would have used
here again.
Nano Blade. If the EMP wears off and we haven't won the fight, I think we can absolutely just Nano Blade there. It's fine. Okay, so this series of events right here,
EMP for
yes,
beat.
absolutely. This series of events is they have to beat to counter the Nano Blade, otherwise they lose the game.
I didn't know that. I didn't know what EMP did to beat at this point, but I have since learned.
He did
That's
not.
hilarious.
Yeah.
He asked us last night if he could hack Soldier out of Visor.
No.
I mean, why not?
So
Right.
we're explaining stuff. He's
Yeah.
to learn.
Right.
This is what
But
I'm playing
EMP takes
too.
out all shields. Shields, period.
But
Any
I
shield.
want to point out that I have played that character for no time whatsoever and have had exactly the same amount of EMPs as their other fucking Sombra, who decided to play Sombra
Their
from the
Sombra
get-go.
is not in the game, yeah. Okay, look, this team
Done
fight
one more.
should have been a
Oh, I know,
very
you used
clean team
dice.
fight one over the course of like 15 seconds, probably max. The options are either EMP early and make sure you hit the Lucio in it, and then just Nano Blade, right? And then just Nano Blade and win. Or if you don't see the Lucio, Nano Blade, the Lucio pops beat, and then you EMP the beat. Right, and that's dependent on do I see Lucio or not. Like in this instance, if you see Lucio and you only hit like 2 people with the EMP, that's good enough. You're gonna win with Nano Blade, and then the beat not being able to be activated. Right. Yet if we're not winning fights with Nano Blade, we shouldn't be playing Genji. It's important to win fights with Nano Blade. Genji's just not a good hero otherwise. Like everything that Genji does outside of Nano Blade, Tracer can just do but way better. And I mean that said, like a lot of Genji players can't play Tracer, so if that's the reason, then that's fine.
Score
That's what he wanted to do.
to 3.
Sure.
At this point,
I mean,
I
Genji's
was-
a fun hero.
this
I
is-
also like
this
Genji,
is-
but
game 5. So at this
Mm.
point, I was just like, I'm not fighting this anymore.
gotcha.
It's just not worth it.
Gotcha.
Ready for battle.
But then this happens.
Hello.
Then
Yeah.
this happens.
Hey, let's do our traditional comp where we may wall people off, but
What is
with Zarya. Oh,
interesting?
Yeah.
Why?
we
Who-
tried to run it back. We tried to go classic King Dro comp here.
Who, what,
Yeah,
when, where,
I
why
think-
is this?
Alright, so
Because-
I know I went Hog because their ball was honestly the biggest threat and their monkey was second, and Hog kind of screws with ball quite a bit. So I'm like, alright, well I can go Hog to counter their ball, who's pretty much just carrying him at this point.
We can still make it work
No,
with the Rhine
no,
Hog.
Hold on. Do
Okay,
not take
okay,
the blame
okay.
for this, Hades. This was not you. This was Saris constantly
Oh, man.
complaining he was bored.
He
and
had
wanting
one
to
job.
play
Does he play
something
Zarya?
else.
He got hired for one job. He wouldn't even
he
do
did
it.
not. He's like, playing Ryan into this is just boring. It's like, why bother?
I mean,
It's like,
yeah,
you know,
it
whatever.
sucks.
Like, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with him in the middle of this.
As somebody who has played
Whatever,
main tank
you
for
guys-
teams, is a very unenjoyable experience sometimes.
Yes, it is not supposed to
It
be
is King's
the
fucking
flashing
row.
crap. It is King's Row.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. You know, y'all wanna play something else? Fine. Really, Cyrus, you wanna play something else? Fine. I'm done arguing. 'Cause at this point, this was after Nepal, so my mind was just made up.
Right. Okay. I mean, th-
So
this comp-
that's why we have this comp.
is not that bad. Like Hog's a hero in the game now. Like, it's not like he's an
Right.
overthrow anymore. He is playable.
Yeah, right.
Arissa is also
you know,
playable
it's
even.
like-
so
He's
like, we could
worse
play
than he
a-
was, though.
I don't know.
Everybody's
I don't
kind of
know.
even. Like, no one is a throw pick, I think, anymore.
The
That's my thought on it.
he's not. It's debatable on whether he's worse anymore. 'Cause since they
Brigitte
made it so
is
you
a throw
pull
pick.
closer
Okay,
to him
Brigitte's
with
kind of
hook.
not-
You're like
not on
point blank
Switch.
now, so you don't have to take the step anymore before you shoot. That's a big buff. So you still
Didn't
get a
they
lot of
also-
consistent one shots.
They also reduced his healing cooldown, which means he just face
They did?
turns better. I'm pretty
No,
sure they did.
I don't think
I-
they
Did they
did.
I didn't-
reverse
I don't
that,
think
or
I
was
heard
that just
about that.
experimental?
So what they did was they increased his damage per bullet, and to counteract that, they reduced how many shots he got per load, right? And then they pulled back on the change to his damage and kept his reduced number of shots. He is strictly worse.
And they slow down his rate of fire as well.
Oh yeah, and they slowed down his rate
Yeah.
of fire.
The only thing that has changed that's definitely a buff is he now pulls them really close to his body after the hook. And that means you get more consistent one shots than you did before that.
They also
but you shoot slower, so your DPS is lower.
the shotgun pattern technically.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
random spread
probably
anymore,
a buff.
right?
That's most likely a buff, yes. Because sometimes before you could get lucky and get a really good spread.
Well, let's talk about how McCree is meta.
Right, McCree's also bad. So what I'm trying to get at here is if we decide to play any sort of double off tank thing, which I mean I'm not a huge fan of, but does kind of exist. It is playable. I think that our DPS heroes that we chose don't really mesh well with that very much. Like the concept of playing 2 off tanks instead of playing a main tank at all is now we just have like a metric shit ton of damage, and everybody can kind of deal with stuff by themselves, I suppose.
Well,
So,
it's not that I don't appreciate the rant, but if you just want to see it not be applicable at all, you can just hit the play button.
Okay,
and just
I'll
watch
hit
it
the
get
play
rolled.
button. But point
Yeah,
is,
I
again,
mean,
Hanzo
like,
kind of just does
yeah.
McCree's job a better again, as usual. I don't think Mei really accomplishes anything in this.
Well,
It's because we wanted to run the Cloud Chaser strat.
Right, but there's
We
a
did.
hog, so
that's not what we wanted to do.
yeah, that's
okay?
where it falls apart
just-
a little bit. I think
just
if,
watch
if you
it.
just play with
I
Hanzo
remember
Reaper,
this.
you can make it work. If you just play Hanzo Reaper, you can make it work.
But just watch it. Nothing matters.
Yeah, they're taking a
Nothing
trip.
matters at all. They're taking a trip.
Okay.
They're taking a trip.
They're sightseeing.
This is this is pretty bad.
Mhm.
Will restore you.
Okay. So
Sudden,
Mei
this fucking
accomplishes
2000 SR team rotates around like the goddamn LA Gladiators.
Yeah, so again, here, Mei accomplishes basically nothing. McCree accomplishes very, very little. And then we give up this entire area because we get scared that they're above us.
Yeah, I think I'm the only person that stayed on point, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like if they take this area, that's
Just
cool.
hug the
It doesn't
wall.
it doesn't benefit them. It benefits
If you
them
just-
very, very little. Like just play
Yeah.
really close up here. Like Hades is absolutely right in this case.
And I'm like, alright, I'll come back to you.
And, yeah, and also
Bye.
if we're gonna play a hog, like the hog is now our main tank, I guess. So, I mean that is kind of the way you think about it. You do generally bubble the hog. The hog kind of feeds because that's the hero, but he is definitely the frontline hero there. So I guess in this instance, people are now following you around, which is different. But this is all just off the bat of we gave up that space because we got scared. If we're gonna play two off tanks, we can't afford to get scared anymore.
But Ryan is boring, right?
Fear is no longer like an option. Yeah.
Stop.
Whew, yeah, that sucked. Are we gonna stay
Yep.
that? Okay. At least for now.
And that's that. Yeah, I think some changes come through.
I think
PC
I
goes
changed
over
after
Chunk.
I realized. I also think I changed because I can't land hooks for
I hope-
shit.
I hope somebody talked about the fact that we have back spawns going on, because when this happens, y'all need to be walking
Way
out
back.
over there. Yeah. Even only having like one back spawn, I think if you have 5 up here and 1 back there, I would still hold this kind of passively. Because they can just YOLO at you guys. It's a 5v5 even if they leave one on the cart. If they take the guy off the cart, it's a 6v5. Anything with more than 1 back spawn here, and I would leave. Leave very quickly. And this is weird because like you as Hog is easily the best person to be up here at all, but Zarya's gonna be following you around now because you're now the main tank, quote unquote. Okay, blue team should have pushed harder there. Where's that? Okay, Sombra's just taking into Vintage again. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's high tide.
Yeah, spillable.
It was a little flanky Kree over there.
It was.
Mhm.
His ult is trash.
We stopped onto junk, I see. That's fine.
Mhm.
That does a lot more than Mei does in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, this is if we're gonna play some sort of comp like this, your character has to be able to do something by himself, and that's not Mei.
Yeah, these were all the complaining was happening as we were trying to like,
Yeah.
get out there.
Kind of
I think
figured.
I had already kicked myself out there.
So, this guy's having a bad time. Hate to see it. Oh, they're
Yeah.
re-engaging without him. I guess they don't care about him either. Interesting. Okay.
We should be pressing W there?
If we're
After
gonna
that
beat
beat?
there, yeah, we should be pressing W.
Огонь по готовности.
This is all kind of risky as a whole. Like, okay, so first of all, what was the beat in response to?
I think we were all just low.
I see,
The
okay.
mines.
Like, we gotta kill Zor up
Expecting them
and
to press W harder than they did.
They engage on regardless. This minefield is solid, I guess. It's not a bad minefield, but pretty much everybody gets out of it living.
Yeah.
I mean, at this instance, if you guys want to walk into this room, like, just you need to get to safety, right? So going into that room, like, you're split, but like, it's better than being dead.
Yeah,
Really,
it
this
was
is
low.
such an awkward fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're low.
That was it.
I think we can live this though. And the thing is, even though we kind of stabilize here, we're not going to be able to win this fight anymore at this point. That
Well,
also
you
gives
say
them a
that.
free window for EMP. They beat. I don't know why they beat that. A lot of questions. And here we are again. At this point, we have kind of stabilized, but we're still holding S and being scared despite having 2 off tanks.
We start going in. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Basically, there was an instance where we should have been more aggressive. There was an instance where blue team should have been more aggressive, and then kind of swapped back and forth, and neither team committed onto anything, which is good for defense. So I guess that's in our favor in the end.
Yeah.
I've been away for the last 2 minutes. What did I miss?
Hi. Very strange fight. Where they
Really?
kind of
No
just
one,
engaged.
no one
Dueling
trusts W.
boots?
Yeah, everybody was scared. Every person in this server was scared of the other team for the entire fight, and then I guess we came out on top.
We were scared.
Yeah,
Son,
gotcha,
I guess.
sirs.
Do they want to use EMP ever? This fight is
Nah.
just lost for us if they press Q at any point here. As you ran into a
Okay,
trap
so-
and died. Are you kidding me? I can't, I'm sorry. Fucking died to a trap. Oh man.
Yeah.
Alright,
You know.
okay. Let's go back so I can
Feels
actually
bad to
make
be that
comments.
Lucio. He just got solo
that
ulted
matter.
twice.
Jesus, okay.
Good trap.
So if you're a Reaper, this is not a good idea to do, generally speaking. Like as an int forward without the rest of your team when they haven't like used the MP or anything. This Reaper should be dead and we shouldn't have lost anybody, to be entirely honest. We lost
0.
one, so you know, hate to see it, I guess.
What the hell am I supposed to do for Reaper? It's like ints onto me and ult.
Just
Like,
boop
like-
him away before he
Right
gets there,
click.
basically. Like Lucio can do a good job at just never being within Reaper range.
the team left
'Cause
me.
the hero.
Blaming the team. I'm
Right.
deflecting.
Okay. This shouldn't have worked. Like he can get hooked. This can just get bubbled. He can get booped out, and then he gets shot in the head and dies. So this shouldn't work. But because it kind of works, like this is a good tire to clean up. Late minefield. Late minefield that the team doesn't engage on.
We kind of clear a path. Just use that path.
Yeah.
And then yeah, this latter half of this fight is good play on by you guys.
I think it was just like a soft reset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is good play.
Stabilized.
And now the EMP?
Apagando las luces.
Now the EMP.
Okay, now the EMP when they
Get
already
all of us.
when they already
And-
lost the fight, the EMP. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Allow me
That
to
that not how you say fight.
It was a fat EMP though.
It was
6K.
Great 6-man
It was a
EMP.
6K EMP.
6K EMP.
Yeah.
Okay, keep walking. Red team, keep walking. Absolutely chase to that corner at the very least. If you see a teammate out here like this, just reinforce the teammate, even if he's making a bad decision, and then yell at him afterwards if you want to have the conversation.
Yeah, I did
But
that to start.
yeah, generally
Kinda
don't just
passed
leave your
first.
teammates out there.
Oh,
Tell
flappy
them to come
body.
back if you have to. Like at this point, he should
Sorry,
be back.
buddy.
Right.
Ragdolled so hard.
I actually had a conversation about that at one point, where it's like if someone calls for a dumb play, at least like if one person makes a dumb play, then you're fucked. But if 6 people make a dumb play,
Yeah,
then
it might work.
Might work.
Absolutely, right. And I think I've drilled that into this team's head actually over the course
Yeah,
of
a
a
little
couple months. And
bit.
this is where like you can tell him to Zarya, come back. Zarya, we shouldn't be pushed up anymore, right?
No,
and then-
no, I'm going in this hole. What are you talking about?
Oh, interesting. But like all of this here chase, this is a good chase. And then like yeah, Reaper just takes some damage because to block back or whatever. But like even then right here we should absolutely still be chasing up until probably around this point. Because now we know they're regrouping, they're gonna be able to engage. And at this point we need to be walking back.
I
So
believe that
yeah.
was my call because we were chasing that Sombra. It was
Okay.
like, now we're done.
Gotcha.
Like,
So we didn't really get punished for this, but it doesn't hurt to always just be up there. You can get some extra
Right,
damage in.
yeah.
At this point, we should absolutely be playing more carefully. And I think our Zarya just gets fucked here.
Like comically fucked. Watch her body. Watch it.
Yeah, Zarya didn't really
Watch it.
respect. Zarya didn't respect them walking in here, so that's bad for us.
I'm sorry. It just looks so funny.
Honestly, even if we had played as a team closer up there, maybe it would have been fine.
Yeah, one more time.
Honestly, I think this would have been fine. Ham, what were you doing, like all the way back here?
I don't
Just
know.
chilling.
Go back.
We're
it one
right
of-
here.
Like right here. Like,
Was it?
We're there.
This thing that's going on
Oh,
over
I'm,
here.
I'm chasing somebody.
Oh,
I don't know.
the ghosts.
Literally,
The ghosts.
as you said, I don't know. Your Reaper just looked so confused. He just got to stop and turn around.
Yeah.
don't know. He's just like.
Yeah. Honestly, I think maybe the better play there would even have been just like play closer up. Remember, we don't have a main tank. We just have to
kind of a
be
ride or
pretty
die
aggressive.
situation.
Yeah, just have to be pretty aggressive. This here tire, you hate to see it. Definitely could have gotten 2 kills there though. Absolutely could have gotten there. Couple kills
greedy.
there. Yeah. Like
Well,
beat wears out. Like
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
just didn't hide for the beat.
I think he just wanted the beat to go out a little bit longer, but it's fine. It's iffy there. It's a little bit closer than I thought it was. So. Oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, Ham's in there.
That's what's going
Yeah.
on.
Ham ins. And I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. Get up there.
And we did it.
We did actually do. We
We
do win
did
this.
it.
We commit a lot of
Not
ults.
take point B.
Flying.
But
Friggity
they
fuck.
do.
Oh, they do. How did they? Oh, because I got bubbled.
Ham, okay, so in this situation, Ham, I want you to do basically everything you just did here except for press Q.
Okay.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
you're just
okay.
buying time for the team to get back at this
Okay.
point, right? With how
Yeah.
they're positioned, because you're Reaper, you're scary, scary boy, right?
Mhm.
If you just stand like right around here, where was that? Saris is standing right here, and just like play that side of the cart, they have to push onto you to kill you, and they're not going to do that. Frankly, right? So like, this works because they get scared of you and back off really far after you press Q.
Let's not tell him that it works again. He dies.
But
he dies right there.
what should be happening is they should just shoot you in the head, and then it's over.
Yeah. But I thought I was gonna be real cheeky,
Right.
and then
You
I
should
wasn't.
be very dead. That was a good bubble. And then this grab, like this follow up, all of this is good because you bought time, right? But like you can buy time without being suicidal about it.
True. True.
Yeah. Like the rest of the follow up was good. Like you did literally buy time. And then it was a good bubble, but you're super
And I'm
dead
already
if
a
that bubble
quarter of
doesn't
the
come
way
down.
next to the blossom.
Good job.
Totally did it on purpose. Planned it out. Big brain.
Because I distinctly
not just
remember
backline
going
Q.
into this next fight and say, okay, well, we have nothing.
Yeah.
That's all we have.
And
to
that,
go
Super,
on.
that's why I wanted to
whole
look at this
hog.
beat usage here
That's
for
it.
a moment.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
Like,
said
I think that's a fine
we ended up committing everything.
because you weren't sure, so that's fine.
right.
But this next
It
fight
was
should be very hard to
40
win
down.
now.
Yeah, that was. Like we're up there. We've already committed Blossom, and we've already committed Craft.
Yeah,
Like,
that-
if
no,
we don't
the
win
beat's
that
fine.
fight, then
The beat's
we're
fine.
just screwed.
The beat's fine.
Look, this is what you get when you put me in Moira jail, and then let me play Fun Heroes.
She's stuck in a trap again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And dead. There you go.
Yeah.
She not only is she stuck in the trap, she EMPs while trapped. She's like, well, I guess I'm found out. Let me EMP.
No better time than now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Alright.
Again, the point of the scrim was for us to work on playing together better as a team. We should have literally destroyed these people.
Sure. Yeah.
This was a 400 or 500 SR diff.
a
Like
bit rough.
this should not have been close.
Sure. Okay, yeah. So losing this fight here, I didn't want to say this earlier, but like you can almost commit to like losing this fight. But it's so difficult to try to pull this one out.
Hey.
Like that ult
Swinging
advantage is
around.
pretty much just unwinnable.
What you doing there?
Didn't notice that before when I was watching it. She's just swinging around.
And then the most
That's
spread out
mine.
minefield
Oh,
to
okay.
ever exist. Boop. Was that an
You
okay
got
Q?
one.
I got
two.
two.
Let's see it.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't see it. I'm lacking some pixels over here. You know, caught me a little bit of slack.
Very sorry.
It's fine. Reading's troubling.
So first off, I think we should do a little bit better job, or like be a little bit more conscious at playing around this side of this corridor instead of on the other side, right? Just everybody as a whole, and specifically referring to tanks here because you guys are in the front and are going to take the damage first. That's a little bit more important. But like that allows you to get behind like this cover faster for this LOS, as well as like potentially like get into a room, take a mega if you have to, something like that, and just not be in the open and you get shot in the head. This sort of thing is extra important when you're not playing a main tank, or if your main tank is Roadhog, because you're just eating damage with that basically. So like when this minefield comes down, for example, I'm assuming you have E and you can just kind of like tank it. But you're much safer if you're like on this side.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
There
pretty
goes
much what
the-
gets you killed. Yeah, that's fine, I guess.
Beacon in place.
It's a little risky. If you call for, like, I wasn't sure if it happened, but if you call for bubble there and then the bubble comes down, then that's totally fine.
I'm gonna need to head out. I got a midterm in like
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Good luck.
Best of luck on your.
Good luck.
Okay, man.
See you guys.
See ya.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
that
didn't
was
know there'd be
still a little risky
many
though.
mines up there.
Yeah.
Each of these
I
are
was just
kind
there
of
to
YOLOing.
feed. Or just so you know.
Like if we had a capability to say like, oh, let's regroup for a moment and then re-engage and then you do it, then it's just automatically much safer.
I think I just noticed that I was behind a couple of them and they were not looking at me in any way.
Sure.
So I think I just said fuck it at that
Yeah,
point.
that's fine.
But I totally get what you're saying. I should have been punished.
Yeah, that time was the safest one out of the ones you did. For sure.
Getting killed.
Which I only did two, and the first one was a fucking catastrophe, so that's not saying much. But I'll work on it.
This is a good cleanup. Did we use beat again? I'm not sure we needed beat.
Yeah,
here.
Oh wait, there's one more
Okay.
EMP.
It's already done. By this point,
She gets one more.
it was a not expecting them to come back and touch.
Why is Junk over
Let's
there?
make sure we clean this up. I think for the tire. I'm pretty
What a
sure.
flank. That's a hell of a flank.
I mean, you want to see some surprising Junkrat play? You can look at our match from last night. PK is a little
Very special.
suicidal. Junkrat at the right word.
He seems like actual Junkrat, like
Yeah.
character.
Uses.
Oh,
Right.
Look at
that's
that!
not
Look
really
at
a
that fat
compliment.
EMP.
You know,
And
how-
then
she
she
gets
gets
trapped
trapped.
you know the things that people who don't like kids say.
This will
Oh, I got
This
another
is
blossom.
because you do nothing but like award participation trophies and always encourage your kids. He is like a composite of the worst things those people claim are true.
What are you talking
Really
about? His Junkrat's really good.
specific insult. Okay.
Well,
Yeah. Well, he lives in like this echo chamber of positivity
Uh-huh.
that bothers
we're
me
streaming,
on a
right?
fundamental.
Recording.
no, we're recording.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna get uploaded to
That
YouTube, but I
just
can put it on
bothers me.
private if you want me to.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we
Unlisted
don't
is fine.
show our
Yeah.
our new teammates how much shit we talk about other people though.
Well, I don't know. There's
Yeah.
not too much
Wait,
I can do about that
Here's
one.
the thing: we're not really talking shit about them. Our quote unquote talking shit about this is very different from that other team talking shit.